Rory Michaels. I work the graveyard shift at a radio station. It sits like a lonely metal box in the middle of the Arizona desert. Not the kind of desert with painted cliffs and tourist buses. This is just heat, scrub brush, and a horizon that never ends. The town we technically serve is 2 hours away, and most nights, I'm not even sure our signal reaches that far. I didn't take this job for the music. Half the time it's 70s soft rock and AM gold, the kind your uncle listens to drunk at Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure the only people tuning in are half-asleep truckers or retirees who never figured out Spotify. I'm not here for journalism either. I'm here because strange things happen out here. Lights in the sky, roads that appear on no map, old stories whispered by people who've lived too long in the middle of nowhere. The kind of things newspapers won't touch because no one wants to sound crazy. That's what I've always been chasing. When I was 10, I stayed up all night cataloging supernatural sightings in the county library. I memorized cryptid classifications instead of baseball stats. I convinced myself my house was haunted just so I could camp in the hallway with a tape recorder. My parents didn't love that. They kept telling me I'd grow out of it, stop filling notebooks with blurry photos and hearsay. But I never did. I just got better at hiding it. By high school, I learned to make it look like a phase. I joined the yearbook team to sneak into the darkroom. I wrote essays on architecture so I could explore condemned buildings without raising eyebrows. I stopped talking about the occult out loud, but I never stopped writing about it. Spiral notebooks filled with notes hid under my mattress. My parents thought I was coming around. They wanted something practical, engineering, law, but all I wanted was to get closer to the edge of the map. So I told them I was majoring in journalism. Technically true. But I chose a college with a folklore archive and a decent paranormal research club. I spent more time in the basement flipping microfilm than in lectures. I interviewed conspiracy theorists and amateur demonologists for class projects. I wrote a paper comparing cult behavior to early online fan forums. Got an A. Got some strange looks too. After graduation, I knew I wasn't cut out for cable news or lifestyle columns. I wasn't chasing book deals exposing corruption. I wanted a mic, a quiet place to speak into the dark, hoping, maybe, someone strange would speak back. That's how I found the station. I applied to a job listing with no company name, no salary, no contact number, just a P.O. box and 4 words, late night radio host. I applied immediately. A week later, I got an envelope with a station badge, a set of keys, and a note. Start Monday. Don't be late. Now, most nights, I sit behind the mic while the desert hums outside. I cue tracks, flip through my little notebook filled with sightings, rumors, things people swear they saw. When the moment feels right, I lean in, press the button, and start talking. Welcome to radio station KMCR, out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, and I should tell you about the only other radio host here, Christian. He works overnight too, and he's the only person I see regularly. We share the control room, the crusty coffee machine, and the busted vending machine. Most nights, it's just the two of us, a few feet apart, microphones in front, mismatched mugs in hand, trying to stay awake and make the show sound decent. Christian's about my age, early 20s, maybe a year older, but you'd never know it. He's got nervous energy, like someone could tap him on the shoulder any moment. That's why we get along. He doesn't mock my obsessions. He doesn't question my rants about haunted highways or Cold War mind control experiments. Sometimes he just nods. Sometimes he laughs. Sometimes he looks uncomfortable, but he stays. That's more than most. The station is called KMCR, though that means little. Not affiliated with a network. Not part of a media group. Just a one-story stucco building at the edge of a cracked service road. No sign. Feels deliberately forgotten. Inside, 2 recording rooms, Studio A and B. A narrow hallway with vinyl shelves. An unused office, a noisy fridge, and a storage closet that never stays closed. The front door has a keypad. The code never changes. A cleaning crew comes by after lunch, but I rarely see them. Maybe 20 people on payroll, including janitors and the guy who fixes the tower after lightning strikes. Most I've never met, and neither has Christian. The only structure keeping things together is the AM show. It starts around 1 a.m., officially casual, news, politics, entertainment. Unofficially, it's my favorite time. The only time I can talk about what I care about. UFOs, government cover-ups, unexplained disappearances, strange listener calls. Christian doesn't always follow, but he doesn't steer me away either. Sometimes he asks questions, shares a weird headline, or we go off on tangents. But I always return to the strange stuff. There's a rhythm now. Christian does weather and updates. I dig into my weird files. We pass the mic back and forth. Some nights we barely talk. Others we can't stop. Tonight, I'm wide awake. I've got a few stories from the past months. Odd sightings, strange moments, all waiting for the right time. Turns out that time is now. So, if you're on the road, in your kitchen, lying awake in a dark room with only the hum of your radio, buckle up. Top off your coffee. We've got a long night ahead. I learned the station's background on my first day, thanks to Christian. I arrived an hour early, as I always do. The sun was still up. The building looked smaller than in the photo. One story, beige stucco peeling, antennas leaning awkwardly. Only one car in the lot. Keypad worked on the first try. Code written on the back of my badge. 1717. Inside was empty, quiet. I dropped my backpack, checked the schedule and audio levels. Playlist queued. Nothing beyond play 70s tracks. Fill airtime with banter. I went to make coffee. The espresso machine mentioned in the welcome packet was nowhere to be found. Just a drip pot and hardened sugar cubes. I checked the cupboards. Dust plates, instant noodles. Nothing else. I ducked into the storage closet at the hall's end. Dimly lit, cluttered. Old cables, busted chairs, boxes. Behind one crate I found a photo album. Black cover, cheap 3-ring binder. Inside, harmless group photos, ribbon cuttings, people in the Watermelon Company t-shirts. Then the last page. Shoved sideways as if intentionally hidden. A window pane like Studio B's, and a bloody goat hoof smeared across it. I took it to Christian. He flipped through, expression unreadable until the last page. Pale rubbed the back of his neck. Ah yeah, weird prank? Halloween. I pressed for details. He explained. The station wasn't just started by radio nerds. It was founded by a cult. The Watermelon Company. The shirts were a front. They pooled money to build the station, broadcast messages to followers, not the public. They worshipped something called the Mother. And the goat print? I asked. Ritual. The station's next to an old goat farm. Studio B's east window faces the old well, he said. A cult with a private desert radio station. Why didn't the job listing say that? We went silent. Playlist humming. Control board clicking. I looked at the well. Things got interesting after that. After the first week, Christian and I found a rhythm. Clock in, make coffee, cue tracks, the AM show at 1 a.m. Some nights movies, some nights strange tales, local legends, listener submissions. Christian usually humored me. I'd rant about alien implants or broadcast experiments. He didn't always join in, but never stopped me. Then the signal started. End of week 2. Halfway through a segment, Christian paused. You hear that? Under the soft music, a faint broken signal. 10 seconds. Gone. Next night, same. And the night after. Always at 3:11 a.m. 10 seconds. Same length. Ending with 3 soft thumps. I recorded them. Christian warned me not to chase it. Said it was interference. Couldn't ignore it. By night 5, I slowed, reversed, filtered the recordings. A rhythm emerged. I isolated a voice. Feed the well. Feed the well. Christian heard it. Silent. Then walked out to the hallway, staring at the field behind the station. I didn't ask questions. Over the next nights, I tracked it. Always at 3:11. Then it got stronger, local, on-site from the overgrown lot behind the station. The old well, covered in rusted metal, weeds. The signal came from there. I couldn't stop thinking about the well. Christian avoided it. I went through the archives instead. Dusty filing cabinets, cardboard boxes, broadcast logs, commercials, and then Stranger Things, handwritten notes. All offerings accounted for. May the mouth stay full. Polaroids of fruit, melons, cut and dated. The watermelon company never filed taxes. No EIN, no payroll. Yet they purchased massive quantities of heritage watermelon seeds, delivered to the station over years. Older logbooks. Feed her seeds. One down the well. Midsummer, her teeth reach. Christian confirmed it. The watermelon company was a cult. They worshipped the well as the mother. Seeds, fruit, livestock, rumors say even people. The broadcasts were prayers to call more offerings. The station still stands, the cult gone. But no one talks about those early years. I kept checking the well every night. Christian avoided it. Then one night, the AM show went live, interrupted. UFO reports. Call-ins. Normal. Then the console glitched. An unknown override. Auto switch engaged. A woman's voice filled the room. Distorted. Slow. Then the dripping. Heavy underwater sounds. Finally, in English, children, come home. The studio lights flickered. The well shifted. Metal lid groaned, buckled, flew up. Hundreds of spiders swarmed, spilling into gravel. Christian sprayed them back with a hose. Ground soaked. Well still open. Nothing else came out. Weeks later, the cover welded shut. Nothing more. But I knew. KMCR wasn't just a radio station. It was a signal tower, a message board, maybe even a feeding trough. Whatever the mother is, she isn't done. I haven't left. Christian warns it's unsafe, but he stays. We play music, kill dead air, wait for the next piece. Out here, nothing's certain, except the signal keeps coming, and something is still listening. If you're out there on a highway at a truck stop, staring at the ceiling, pay attention. These stories sound strange, but they're real. One night at a time. This is Rory on the AM show. You're listening to KMCR, out in the middle of nowhere.